Hi, I'm Kate from Eau Claret. Welcome. Today we're going to find your perfect fit, and to do that we need to measure your feet the correct way, and I'm going to show you how. First, let's gather those tools. You'll need a piece of paper or two, a pen or pencil to mark your feet with, a ruler, or a tape measure. Now let's get started. Let's trace your foot. Place the paper flat against the floor. Make sure it's a hard surface and stand on it with your full weight. You might need to lean forward as you do this and trace around your foot, keeping the pen or pencil straight up and down, not at an angle, like this. Now we measure the length and the width. So the length is from the top of your toe to the heel. Now, you might have a longer second toe or even third toe. Whatever that tallest toe is, you measure from there to the heel, and that's your length. Then the width is across, as you can probably understand. But sometimes these bones are at an angle, so it's not always just straight across. It's kind of at an angle. I'll show you with my right hand. So you can see top of my toe to the bottom, and you measure this line. And also you add a 1/2 inch or about 13 millimeters to the top, and that gives you room in your shoe for your toe to move around, because you don't want the toe to hit the front of the shoe. That would be very uncomfortable. And then the width, you can see, is at an angle. So from the widest point on the outside and the inside, and you measure that across, and that'll be the width. No adding anything extra. Now that we have our measurements, you can confidently go to any of our product pages and find your right size. And don't worry about measuring in inches or millimeters, because I have done that for you. I have both measurements on every single shoe. And if you're wondering why we do it both ways, the industry actually prefers millimeters because you can get a more precise, accurate measurement with those tiny millimeters instead of doing all those fractions in the empirical system. Yay, America. Now, the last thing you need to do is make sure you measure both feet. One foot might be bigger than the other, one foot might be wider than the other. Who knows until you measure it correctly, right? And if you have any questions or concerns about measuring, please feel free to reach out to us. We will help you in any step of the process. And don't forget that little extra 1/2 inch or 13 millimeters at the top, because you want to have space to move around in those shoes and make sure they're comfortable. Thanks.